Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I hope you're having a great start to your day. If you're over here, at least where I am, if it's morning for you, but if it's afternoon, I hope you've had a great day. We're gonna kind of get into some things I was looking at. We traded down to, just trying to get a feeler, like how we always do. As you see yesterday, even though we weren't able to get the full move, we see that we're able to actually reach all the way down, and we traded a little bit past where we were looking for. Remember this wick, so we were trying to use the wick, but also this inverse fair value gap. Notice how we traded all the way down there. So that was a nice move. So we're gonna see where we're at right now. I'm thinking potentially we may see a little bit of some bullishness. I was looking at the bodies here. Maybe we'll see if we'll get that. Again, I'm not extremely bullish. I kind of explained how when we went below this low, to me, I think that was a very important turn in the market, and you can kind of see we've kind of just been heavy since then. So we'll see if we want to kind of draw down into here. I would like to see us kind of tap into this. This to me just looks so perfectly clean. So does this, but we're gonna see what we're gonna get. Again, I don't have a lot of expectation today because of let me know if the music is a little bit too loud, because I did change up the music, so it could be, this one could be a little bit too loud. I don't think it is, but I don't know, so just let me know if you're watching. So we had some SMT here. It's no longer there anymore, but we did have some, but I do believe that we could potentially see a little bit of higher prices and see if we can go get those highs I was talking about, but nothing here that's significant for me in terms of upside, so we may still see some weaker price action. In terms of where we're at the low end, at least with new week opening gaps of February 2nd. New day opening gaps were pretty much right at January 2nd. We also reacted off of January 9th, the low of that. So again, I'm not really looking at today in terms of like, oh, I really want to trade today. As I kind of said yesterday, I'm not trading at all, so that's why there's no buttons up here. If you ever come to my stream or trying to figure out like if I'm streaming that day or not, no buttons, I'm not taking a trade. That's what that means. So we do have this now. I'm interested just to kind of see what are we getting. Obviously this is way before market opens. I think we have a premium gap. I could be wrong. So we closed down here. Yes, we do have a premium gap. Let's actually figure out where the low is, so that, or not where the low is, but like where it closes, so that we can get in a clear indication of what we're looking at in terms of giving price the ability to do whatever it wants to do. So right now we're about 60, 70 handles away, so that's a good amount of time. I'm a good amount of distance, so nothing to worry about right there until we start to pull in, start to pull in down below this. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a time stop, which kind of lets me know we may have a little bit of choppiness kind of going on. So we'll see. But yeah, pretty much how the trade started yesterday. Remember how I liked looking at the 5-minute chart, and I was looking here. So I pretty much just said, okay, this is a 5-minute order block. Remember, all the way to the wick, this whole part, this whole candle is a order block. So if this is going to trade lower, this is a breaker as well. But what I would be looking at is this line right there. So I'd want to see this not. Let's do this. So I'd want to see this, because this is a constant encroachment of this wick. If it's able to trade up to there, that's where I'd like to see it hold price to. I don't even want to see it trade up in the upper portion of this at all, personally. But if it's going to go lower, that's all I'm saying. I don't believe that, but that's how I framed my setup yesterday. for me, I feel like that not as heavy on that trade setup right now, because I like to see in my trade specifically, like when you look at ES and NQ, I want to see the same things, or that like this is showing a little bit more strength, and I don't like that. So until I start to see them both move in the same direction, that's what I'm more willing to like start taking a trade. I'm like, okay, now they're starting to move in the same direction. It's time to do something now, right? That's how I look at my trades. You know, we weren't even able to get up here. This would have been where I wanted to see it stay below, and it did. But yeah, that's how I would look at this one. Breaker, because there's a high, low, higher high. This is the 5-minute order block from the low to the high. So from the low, we hit the low of it, which I believe is just this candle. Yeah. So that's the low. We traded below and came back up into it. But again, not my trade setup, just talking about what I see. That's it. But also, if anyone can, if you just joined, let me know if the music is a little bit too loud. I hope it's not, but I'm not sure. I will be right back. I need to go get my charger for my computer because it'll probably die if I don't go do that now. Good morning. Thank you for letting me know that the music is fine. Cause yeah, without that, I don't know how it's doing. So I appreciate that. How has your morning been so far? Trade was that actually? Okay, 22 points. Banger, right? What a banger trade. Yeah, so right now we're trading down into this hourly order block. We'll see what we can get there. Again, I'm thinking we'll see a little bit of a retracement. I don't know if we're gonna, because that's gonna be 1, 2, 3. That'd be 4 days just dumping. It's possible. It's possible. It's not impossible. But just this to me up here, this looks crazy clean. But also you have to remember it's the last week of the month. So, you know, I'm not long-term bullish. I just want to make sure I'm not. I think that we're bearish because of things I think I explained on my video. So we have this new week opening, or new day opening gap right here. You see that's pretty large. We can note that. We kind of see where we are in comparison. So that's the new day opening gap, the current new day opening gap. We're trading right back down to that right now. So look at that. From up here, it's kind of nice. Yeah, we'll see what we're gonna get around 9:30. As I was kind of telling you though, yeah, we're very close to yesterday's yesterday's closing price, which is, you know, the 5-minute. Let's go to this chart. Very close to yesterday's closing price, which means that today, which I'm not trading anyways, but most likely going to be a time stop, right? Like I said, if we start getting below these lows here, 10 o'clock, unless we like start to scream away aggressively, 10 o'clock is probably going to be our best friend today. Even though we're not trading today, as you see, there's no buttons up here, so I'm not pressing anything. I will not take a trade. Even though that's not present, still going to be tape reading and watching price, because I think that it's important to be in front of the charts and be able to just get that experience of reading price. So we hit the top end of the new day opening gap. You see that there. And we're going to kind of see what kind of reaction do we get there. We can also note the, oops, that's what I was trying to do. You can also note the midpoint, which is like, look how the body stops right there. So you can note the midpoint. Perfect right there. Okay. So know what that is. Usually how I have it on my other chart is it's this blue color, so I'm going to do that now so I just can look at it and kind of know what it is. And this is usually how I have it, like that. And then I have the date there, and then like if this was a previous day's one, then it would be in black. That's how I usually do it. So this is the hourly. This was the hourly fair value gap. I don't think that we have 40 minutes. This is a new notice where this order block is too, so we have a long time, and we're probably gonna have to wait till 10 unless something else shows up. But that's pretty much what we're eyeing out now. Could we just dump below this low? I think it's possible, but that would be 4 days in a row of dumping. I think we're more likely to come up here, but we'll see. This to me just looks it looks primed, like I mean, everything in the retail books tell you to put your stop loss above something that looks like this. Like, that's what they tell you to do. And most of the time, it gets destroyed. Like, look at it right here. This is the same thing. So what I see here is this. Notice how you have this high, high, high. What does it do? Runs it, and then trades lower. This is what used to happen to me all the time before I understood that one, it's not random, but also that these levels that the books tell you to put it on is exactly what they target. So I don't want to be in that. So trying to learn what is opposed to that, to me, was more important, which was, in my eyes, ICT was directly opposed to what they teach in the books. Because the books only tell you, they teach you this when it's fine. Like, they'll say, okay, look at this, and then you sell this, and everything is fine. But then they don't show you this when you do this, and this is normally what happens. Like, I thought this was going to happen yesterday or 2 days ago. No, that was yesterday. I wholeheartedly thought that this was going to run up here, come down and run this, and then I would have expected this. But they didn't do that. They left it. And then look at this, same thing. They did the same thing here. And then look all the way up top. They did the same, like these two, like this, I for sure was not going to get hit. They left it. So that's just my personal thought process of what could potentially be happening here. But I'm thinking we're going to see this get hit. That's what I see today. But again, just like yesterday, we can be wrong, and that's fine. And if we are wrong, that's fine. Just, flip bias and then look for lows to get taken out. But I'm more pressed to think we're going to go a little bit higher today over going lower. So we'll see. Kind of got the same thing here. No real, like, we had a little bit of SMT down here. Let me kind of show you this. So yesterday, and like, I guess this was, I mean, it's not the PM session, but I guess it kind of is. There's a little bit of SMT here. This is, ES is a little bit stronger in terms of, in comparison to NQ, but I like trading NQ more because you see how high up we are compared to these highs. These are the same highs right here. Look how closer we are. So, and Dow the whole day yesterday looked like garbage, but also look how it didn't even really trade down that much deeper. So again, my thought process is potentially higher, But again, we'll have to, weigh out the options when the market opens in about 7 minutes or so. But that's what I'll be looking for. Again, we have this gap again here. So we continue, if we keep continuing to respect discount, premium arrays, that's also letting you know that your bullish bias is not correct, and you just have to adjust. Again, I'm okay if my bias is wrong and that I take a trade and it's against whatever I originally thought for the day. That's fine. I'm not opposed to that. I used to, because I thought that I need to know right before everything happens what is supposed to happen for the day, and if I'm wrong, then pretty much the whole thing doesn't matter if I take a trade or not. It's wrong, which is obviously not true. And that's just trying to be perfect or trying to do other things. That's honestly not even necessary, right? I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to know exactly what everything's gonna happen for the day, and I don't need to know all those things. Whatever will happen regardless of if I'm watching this or not, or whatever my thought process is. It doesn't matter. So what's nice here and what's cool about this too, right? So on the 15-minute chart, I still think we're gonna go up here. So, but I'm not long-term bullish at all. I just want to make sure that's known. This is immediate rebalance here on a 15-minute chart. Notice how the immediate rebalance also coincides with this 5-minute, and then if you look on the 1-minute chart, here's an order block there. So extend that out. Notice how it hits it and comes back, and it hits it and then trades lower. So if you are a scalper and that's the type of price action that you like to look for, like 10 to 15 handles, that's so easy to find and so consistent. Just from my personal liking, that I don't trade that way. So I don't look for 10 handles. I look for 50. And I've been able to find consistency with that. So that's what I'm going to stick with. I have been kind of contemplating of doing a little bit, I would say a little bit more. And the only reason why I'm saying that is I looked at my stats for this month and I took 8 trades. I won 5 of them and I lost 3 of them. And what I started to notice a little bit was my the risk to reward sometimes can be so out of proportion that for me, I don't like the trade setup, even though it's a very optimal trade setup. But the problem is it'd be something like this. Like, let me just show you visually. And this is just what I started to notice. Like, let's say I enter here. Let's say I'm looking for a long, and remember I only target 50 handles. So let's say this is where my long is. Sorry, my mouse got stuck. But then I'd sometimes have like trades where it's like this, and I'm like, I don't like taking this trade at all. Like, not at all. And it could be just stop placement, which could be better, which is fine. But there's certain things that I like to see where my stop placement would be shorter. But to me, like having a trade like this, it's not, I don't like that, because if I end up going on a losing streak, let's say I lose 4 or 5 trades in a row, that could it could take a while for me to get back up to, break even. Whereas if let's say this is the actual high, and let's say this is the same trade. Let's say, same stop loss placement, but this is where I'm targeting. But let's say I take off most of my trade at 50, or I take off a percentage at 50, and then I shoot for this. That may be worthwhile, something, trying out and seeing how that works. So that's also something that I'm looking into because of what I was looking at and seeing. But this month, my we have 2 minutes before, and then I'll start to get into it. Just want to make sure where are we actually, because then I can continue to go. Yeah, so we're pretty low. Let's see. Yeah, 41. Yeah, probably will be waiting until 10 o'clock. That's gonna be my go-to. But the amount of time that my trades were actually in were about 10 minutes or so, which was kind of roughly the same as January. So it's good to kind of see that there. I think my win percentage was like 66 point something or 67. I don't know. So over the last 2 months, or I guess it'd be 2 months and like 2 weeks. The win percentage was 70.5, I think, or 72. I can't remember, something like that. So that's pretty good. But what I was seeing is pretty much if you flip my stats, let's say I was 30% accurate with the trades that I've been doing where it's like, 50 handles and then a stop loss, like let's say like this. Over time, if I was 30% accurate, there's no way this would last. I would start losing way too much, So that's just something that I was seeing and becoming aware of just by looking at the stats. But we'll see, So we're back. So we're almost hitting the daily inverse for value gap again. I'm just looking to see what we're getting here, because this is obviously way weaker. So it's 9:30 now. That is a really not so great open. I don't like to see it when it's that small. That's not what I meant to do. That's wrong. So again, a lot of patience will be used here. We've already hit constant encroachment in probably like a minute or so already. 1350. So we'll see if we can completely close in the gap. That's all I pretty much use that for. So we hit constant encroachment of this new day opening gap. Again, everything is starting to look very, very heavy. So again, I could be wrong with bias and thinking that we could be targeting this. Maybe we're definitely saving this for something. What? I don't know. That to me just looks very pristine, and that usually doesn't last very long in the markets. So we probably had a closure, but we didn't have a closure. We came close, not yet. So we didn't close the gap yet. But again, you have to think about it, right? Everyone has seen price melt for the last 1, 2, 3 days. My thought process is like, are we gonna continue to melt on the 4th day in a row? I don't think so, but again, I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So we're gonna take this off for now. I don't need that on there. Again, we're gonna wait till 10 o'clock to really even be identifying any areas, because for me, I think that's what is more important. I believe this is a massive stop run. Massive stop run. Look at the wicks, and I think we're just gonna continue to shoot up. That's my thought process here. But we'll see. Do we have any traders in here? Or do we have anyone that wants to learn how to trade? Interested to know. Again, see, this is why, for me personally, waiting till 10 o'clock. Again, we go down, up, we're down again. And notice how we left a little bit of this open. We didn't even close it in. I mean, to go all the way down here and not close it in, it's interesting. S&P looks so heavy, actually. So heavy. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Look at this. So heavy. Well, I guess it didn't even hit out its low, so I guess now it's kind of going down there. But it looks heavy. So, do we see the same thing as we see yesterday? Do we get just dumping down all the way down here? potentially. I guess we have 4 days of that. I mean, it can do that. I don't think so. There's this guy that I watch. His name is Myron Golden. He says stuff sometimes like, he says they, but I'm talking specifically more about me. But he'll say stuff like, they've been wrong before, and they can be wrong again. And that's how I feel today. I'm okay with being wrong on if it doesn't come up here, or at least try to attack up there. Because yesterday, again, we were looking for this to get ran, but it didn't. It just traded lower. Okay, that's fine. Well, let's adapt to what it wants to do. I'm not trying to fight it. I used to try to do that, and I always got blasted when I did that, so I'm not trying to redo that part. That was not fun. And again, for me, right? So I don't know if anyone in here that trades or kind of knows a little bit about it, but from 9:30, so I want you to look at this, and you can answer me. You can type in there. Would you rather be long or short right now? Like, which one do you feel more comfortable with? Okay, so we close it in here. So we hit the low. But which one would you rather be right now and feel like real confident in risking money? Which one? Would you rather be buying right now or selling right now? It's okay to be wrong, by the way. You can just say, I don't know. I wouldn't, I'm just gonna tell you, I wouldn't want to buy or sell right now. There's nothing here for me that lets me know that I wouldn't do anything, actually. And earlier on in my trading, I would be in this. Have no idea which direction it's gonna go, and I'd be in this. So maybe I'd buy. Let's say I bought here and then it lose. Then I would try to sell it, and then there you go. Then the next candle goes up, and then this stuff is like where you lose your account. You lose your account in times like this when you have no idea what it's doing. Zero clue. And the thing is, like, the first presented fair value gap right now hasn't even been formed. Hasn't formed. So again, that's letting me know that this is the type of price action I'm expecting anyways right now. We have a small gap. We just had literally a large range day yesterday. And there's no first presented fair value gap. So I'm chilling. I know I'm not trading today at all, but I'm chilling anyways. Like, there's nothing for me to do yet. We do have this order block, which I would expect to get ran through. That would be my expectation, because how I've said I'm looking for this to get hit. So that to me makes a little bit more sense. Now, notice how a lot on other days I can have multiple levels here. I said this would be probably a key level here, but other than that, there's really nothing clear yet. Still, I do like how we close above that, and if we can, now it makes a little bit more sense, but we have to close above it, convincingly close above it. This right here now becomes what? An order block. So now, what do we see here? So we got a 5 minute, and here's 10 o'clock. So again, I delineate when I would be looking to take a trade, even if this, from here, screams all the way up here, right? In let's say in 1 second. Well, I wouldn't be in a trade. I wouldn't be able to take that trade, that's fine. and that's just the rule. So we have this inverse gap here as well. 5-minute chart. So this is a nice close. I like that. What we also have here too, I think is cool. We may not actually touch this, if I'm being honest. We do have a nice little breaker here, and look on the 5-minute chart, we have that there as well. So I kind of like that, but you have to, I like creating a gap over time. Now we have this right here. How do we respond here? In this gap right now, how do we respond inside of that? What I would personally like to see, and I would label it as an institutional order flow entry drill. That's what I would label. And what does that mean? It means to me that I don't want to see it close this whole thing. It should shallowly run in here like it did and scream higher. So where's the buy side? Here. So short-term buy side, you always see me put like the little, or short-term buy side or sell side, you'll see me put this little X here. That's what that means. And so for me, it's like, okay, so from this here, I would expect it to run up to their minimum. And I want to see this remain open. So if you watch my YouTube videos, usually when you see, oh, this is the first presented for value gap. Well, I can use it for both now. So usually in my videos, you see, if you see yellow, that is a indication of a key signature, which lets me know that, okay, it's showing strength because it can't close down here. It can't reach down here. That's usually how I use it in my trades. But this is the first presented for value gap, and it forms at 937. Again, remember I was telling you how we have this candle here. This would be a breaker. I would like to see it stay open, but I don't want to see it reach down here. I don't want to even see it trade down to this order block. I don't want to see that at all. It can, it's allowed to, it's permitted, but I don't want to see that. So I'm just fixing some stuff on the other chart. At what, this was what, 937? Again, I'm watching the bodies. How are the bodies performing? What are they doing? That's the key. The wicks can tell lies, and they hit the here. I had it at the open. Just hit the top of it. So just hit the top of the order block, the high, and look at the response. So do we continuously see that, or we just fall and fail and just keep trading lower? Outside of time stop. Outside of an actual time stop, and it was a day that I was actually looking to trade, I'd be in this trade there, and I would look. We have to make sure it's 50 handles, but I would be looking for, yeah, it's way more than that. That's what I'd be looking for. Win or lose, that's what I'd be looking for. But we have a time stop, so I wouldn't be in this trade. Because that to me is an immediate rebound, so it shouldn't be trading too deep into that. Shouldn't be doing that. So I'm just all over the place right now. 937. And this needs to be this color. Again, back and forth. Choppiness is what I'm expecting. Yeah, I would have probably been taken out of this trade by now. I've been taken out of the trade. So this order block, as you can see, did not hold. At least we have 2 minutes left, but it didn't hold. So why would I avoid taking this trade? Even though it fits the framework and does everything, because I've explained that why the time stop for me is at 10. I'm expecting this overlapping and run-in price. That's what I'm expecting. So that's why I'm not, there's no, like I would not have pressed the button because I have to wait until 10 o'clock. So it saves me from having to go through this. Like, that's what I'm trying to kind of explain. It saves me from this. From like being in this trade and it just running down. And this may go lower, this could go higher. At this point, I'm still favoring this side, but it doesn't mean that it has to do that. But this type of deep rundown image, like I wouldn't, that wouldn't surprise me because of the market condition that we're in. And again, even if I was looking for a short, again, so we have a stop run, this candle right here would have to support our resist price. And then we have to start taking out down here, but I'm trading into a new day opening gap. I don't like that. I think this has more upside than this. But we're gonna look at this, right? So 9:30 is here. It's been 14 minutes and we've gone absolutely nowhere. We've gone nowhere. And that's why I asked, do you want to be long or do you want to be short? Again, like I said, I favor the long side, but at this moment, I don't want to do anything. Nothing. Like when it reveals itself, and then I'm ready. But when it's not revealed itself, I'm not doing anything. I used to try to guess and like guess to get in the trade, and it's like that's the worst thing you can do. It's the worst thing you can do in trading. Just try to guess. The best thing you can do is just be patient, wait for it to show itself, and then when it does, bang, you take the trade. So who would like to be? Can you take? Oh, I think you can take polls, but I don't know how to do this. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do this actually. I don't know how you do polls in here. Oh shoot, it's because I'm on this. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know you can do polls because I'm not watching on my account. Maybe I can. I don't know how that works. But yeah, you just put polls in. I was gonna see, and you guys can click and answer, and I don't think it tells you who thinks what. But yeah, it's just like price is not clear right now, and I'm sure a lot of people's accounts are getting chopped up right now, and we just chilling. We are just chilling. This is not an EO Fed, by the way, anymore. Let's delete that. Why? Because it didn't leave anything open. Just crushed it. It overlapped it. That's what we expect. But trust me, I used to be like, oh my goodness, I would take this trade, bam, get stopped out. Wouldn't know what to do. And then I'm like, okay, well maybe it's going lower. I take this for value gap, stop loss up here, bang, hit. Now I'm trying to figure out what's gonna happen, and I'm just trying to do something, you know? Trying to salvage things that don't need to necessarily be salvaged. But the patience is the key. So we did respond off this order block. You see how we ran through it with the wicks, but look at the bodies. The bodies are respecting, so it's letting us know that we're having more likely, a higher chance of potentially going to go higher than lower, in my opinion, which is what I've been looking for this whole time. I want to see if we can get up here. Are we gonna do that before 10? Probably not. That's a lot of range to go. We do also have, like, I think it's home sales or something at 10 o'clock, but I don't think that that's gonna have a large impact. Unless they snuck Mr. Trump in there again. Let's see. Nah, they didn't do that. So, yeah, just new home sales, crude oil, and then the G20 meetings. Oh no, Trump does speak. It's tentative. And those are, usually they happen in the afternoon. So if I was trading in the morning, I usually am not fearful of that. Because that's kind of, it's out of the time that I look to trade anyways, so. Yeah, I'm telling you, I can't wait to get my the little sound. I call it a little sound bite, but I think it's called a stream deck or something. And you can put like sounds and stuff. Pfft. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. I used to do this, right? I used to say, I used to have like the, oh, I didn't know they had the money sign up here. Look at that, ching. That's where it's going. But what I used to do, you can see the stuff I did when I didn't really know how to trade. It was always run. Wait, why is it like that? Oh. That's what I would do. Yeah. So I put stuff like this up here. I'd be trolling people, but like, there's really no point in doing that. Like, that's just the dumbest thing you can be doing. But that's what I would do. Or I would be like, I know I'm self-snitching, but it's all good. I would look for people that were, and again, this is all coming from a person that could not trade. Okay, let me just note this out. This would be a propulsion block right here. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because your boy was not able to do anything, but like was pretending that he could, you know. Caps lock is on. This is a propulsion block. This should, if we're bullish, this should not get ran through. This should hold price at bay and trade higher. It should not get ran through. It should not. What I would do is I'd go on, you know, either in Discord chats or, and granted, this is a person that could not trade, who was losing most of his trades, and I would go on, and this was to make me feel better, and I would go and look for people who were on the opposite side of my trade, or I would just go into a chat and be like, what is everyone thinking? Is anyone long or short? And literally what I would do is like the first person or a couple people that would say like long or short. And especially if I had like a bias, I would like screenshot what they said, screenshot what I said, and then I would trade against what they said. And then I would say like Retail Rick's or Timmy's stop loss, which was never their name. I mean, I would always block people's names off. I would never, you know, do that because I at least had some dignity with what I was doing. But it was because I was hurt. Like, I was like, I couldn't do this, but I had to get the outlet out. And, yeah, it's just never a good thing. But those are things that I used to do. And again, as you see, those things really never help you. They always hurt you, hold you back, and ultimately you don't do anything better, you know. But see, we're close to this. So I said that we should see this be respected, and then this should have immediate response and should not be sitting down here and holding, because it's a propulsion block. What I've also found too is in my trading, I click what is available and what's there for the day, and I've been 100% when there's been propulsion blocks. So happy about that. What I do like is if we can, if we don't close this whole thing, which it looks like we might do. Looks like we might do that. So negate what I was about to say. It don't matter. It don't matter. But I was gonna say, if we could have created a fair value gap here, I'm looking on the 5-minute chart, we would have this candle. It would be a breaker. And if we could have created a 5-minute fair value gap as well, and then traded down after 10 o'clock, that would be a viable trade setup to then look for. Let's see if we can get a run up here. Now what I do see here is a little volume imbalance. I'm not going to note everything because then there's be too much on the chart, way too much. So I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. I do see we have a 15-minute fair value gap here, but I'm thinking we're, oops. See, I can't even see what's going on over here. Yeah, so we did have, ES did take out the high. Let's look at that. I was telling you ES is a little bit stronger because of its willingness to not trade as low and how close we are to these highs. So I do believe that this should catch up and run through this. But if not, then again, you know, that's SMT. But again, I'm still looking for it to go higher. So definitely take this out. Now, do we have the strength to get all the way up here? I would say yes, but this definitely is a target for sure. Now, notice how the first breaker, or the first setup, notice how it gets ran through, and then what happens? Then it releases, comes down, and so I'm favoring up here. So again, what do we want to see in our trades? Every down close candle, support price. So this candle too, want to see its support price and us to shoot up here, like with speed. Like as we get closer here, I want to see large candles, like just large candles just rip across and rake across everything. That's what I want to see. Just rake across everything. Everything. That's what I want to see. Again, we're waiting till 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock on the dot. I might have to add that in there too. I can't remember who the singer is. But I'll find a way. I don't remember the name of the song, but it's all good. Look at that close. Is this a trade that you want to be in? We hit the high of the propulsion block again. I have it on the body, but if you use the high, we hit that again on this drop right here. So what does this tell me? One, that this is a high resistant market, which means what? Overlapping price, which I knew before we started. And then look how we go up and then like deep retracement. Then up, like look up, deep retracement. Slowly grinding up, deep retracement. That's letting me know it's just high resistant, and I don't like those markets. I've been caught in them sometimes, which again still isn't fun. But you know, ain't nothing you can do about that. Also, if in fact we are gonna go higher, right? The 10 o'clock candle has to make a low first. It's got to make its low. So seeing it come down first and then trade higher would be favorable instead of just running up. Because let's say, which it can, usually can have like no bottom wick. So remove that as you get close to it. But if it's just gonna run up higher, let's say it just runs up higher, usually that means it's creating the high. And if we expect, let's say like a macro time, let's note that because I think we're already in it. Yeah. The macro time is 9:50 to 10:10. Macro. So, well, it's not just that time, but this is a time for it to occur. So what that would mean, right, is in the first, we could say half hour, right, the higher low is going to be created. So what we're looking for is if it just runs straight up, potentially it could come down here. I don't think so, but I'd want to see it come down first again, go higher. Remember, anytime you see me buying, it's going lower. Anytime you see me selling, it's going higher. I don't buy, like I ain't buying once it gets above here. That's dead. I don't do that. I don't do that stuff. I don't do it. So you have 2 minutes, right? I like this response off this order block. Again, if we can create a fair value gap here without just exploding right past it, which is possible. Again, my target's up here at equal. The buy side up there is very easy to see. It's very clear. And we have about a minute left. So that's what I'd want to see. Because look at this wick. The wick came down here, hit the propulsion block again. We're closing up again inside of this 15-minute fair value gap. I just don't want to have too much on my charts, so that's why I'm trying to keep them clean. I'm just putting what I think is only valuable and what would be valuable for me in the charts. And if I was taking a trade, this is what it would look like. So I'm not like hiding anything. I don't want to hide anything. I mean, I have other screens, but I tell you about what I'm looking at anyways. So yeah, I don't like when people try to do that. So it's 10 o'clock now. So what do we look for? Our low. So I do like this. I wonder if we can keep this open, if we'll trade down into that. Okay, well, we trade way past that. Let's look at the wick. Came down again. My expectation next is here, up here. So let's look at ES first. You know, we don't want to. ES closed above its high, so I do think that we could see this trade up above here. So about 11 seconds. As long as ES can hold its high, then we're good here. If ES cannot hold its high, then this is chalked. Chalk, chalk, chalk. But I'm thinking we go up here. Pending home sales again, like on a pending home sales or new home sales, I would not expect a wick like this, but recently that's what we've been getting, which is very odd to me, because like an orange folder new home sale never would do that, or not that I ever remember. But again, it came down to what took out stops here, came down, traded down into what, the 1 hour fair value gap that it reclaimed. So now this would be a lighter red color because it got reclaimed. Actually, did it get traded through? No, it didn't even get traded through, so never mind. Never mind, that's all good. So that's not reclaimed because this is the fair value gap that the wicks did all the damage. So again, you see how it's holding. Look at the bodies here. This is a gap I did like. There. So it's a gap I like, but we need to see ES hold that high, because without ES holding that high, this is curtains. By the way, let me show you this again. Actually, I want to take this off. Let's put it right here. This right here is a propulsion block. That's not it. This is it. You may ask me, what is a propulsion block? I'm glad you asked. A propulsion block is when you have an order block, like an original candle. This is also a propulsion block, but you have an order block and then you have another. So an order block, a bullish order block is a down close candle. That's where you believe that they sell, or sorry, they buy into this down close candle. So price moves up. That's the algorithm telling itself or tipping its hand. So when you see a down close candle, then you see another down close candle on top of this one. This one should support price. It should not close in the lower portion of it. You see the wick came down here. That's fine. The wicks do what? The damage. So notice how this gap stays open. Look at the bodies of the candles. Very clear. Hits the propulsion block. bang, it's gone. See ya. So that's one of my favorite ones. I used to like that a lot, but I realized that in my trading, that is actually one that is 100% for me right now, actually. So anytime there's been a propulsion block and I've been able to see it and notice it, I've won every trade. So that's nice. That's neat. But again, this needs to explode. Like, this needs to stop inching up here. But again, it is high resistance, so that's what we're kind of expecting. But I want to see it explode through this high. Once it gets through this high, it needs to start running, like running. It needs to run. Because what I'm watching right now is to see the strength of let me show you. So just say it. So I'm watching the strength of ES. Can we continue to hold this? Because if we cannot hold this, not sure if we're going to be able to get that same strength right here. That's what I'm looking at. Right? I want to see us continuously hold this. So again, this here, this would be another order block. I would say this is another order block. I wouldn't say it's another propulsion block, but again, we would still expect this to hold price. That would be the expectation. And the cool thing, when you see a propulsion block, and it's a true propulsion block, and it's responding in a way that you would expect, your stop loss doesn't have to be as long or as large, because you expect it not to just start trading through it. That would be the expectation. So again, you see, look at this one, how they came down, but they only hit the opening price here. So if, let's say I was in this trade, I'm not, obviously, and I saw a propulsion block and I like taking propulsion block entries, my stop loss needs to be just a little bit below the middle, and then target up there. And that's a 3-to-1 just from on this chart. And 66 handles, 19-point stop, and you're chilling. But I don't trade that way, but that's a model in itself. So ES is looking like it does not want to hold that high. We have 8 minutes until it's closed, but yeah, again, this is just not a day for me. I'm glad I took it off. It's just struggling. It's a struggle bus. Anyone watching, when you guys want to be in the trade? Would you guys be long or short? Remember when I asked you earlier in the day? How many of you actually said short in your head because you saw it trade down here? I'm just interested. Deep retracements. Shallow runs higher, deep retracements. We came back down to the propulsion block again. Like, for what? For what? For what, bro? So the bodies did actually close inside of the new week. I made the first presented fair value gap from Tuesday, January 28th. I can't show you that chart because there's no way I had to drag it all the way over here. I don't have that one up on like one of these charts, but it's fine. Look how we came back down to the propulsion block on a 5-minute chart again, and then went. Now, what would be very interesting to me is this. So if we can create a fair value gap above this high, even if we take out this high, I don't care. Yeah, I would 100% be targeting up there, but we have to do those things. We can't just keep bouncing back and forth. See, okay, so this is the type of price action I was expecting on Monday. And then what happened Monday is what I was expecting on Tuesday. Even though Tuesday did have a large range, don't get me wrong. But I was expecting this on a Monday because we just had another large range day. So I was like, there's no way we're going to do another one in a row. And they did another one in a row. And I was like, wow, okay, I guess that's what we're doing now. Which is another soundbite I will have when I get the Stream Deck. Pending. It's coming soon. But yeah, so it's just understanding what type of market environment you're gonna get and not being frustrated that it's not going above the high or the low or whatever you're doing. I believe that's honestly where it's gonna target. Why it's spending too much time up here, so it's not telling me that it's not telling me it wants to go lower. It's actually screaming, I'm gonna come up a little bit higher, I'm gonna go higher. I'm just allowing people to move their stops. The people, again, this is what the books tell you. It comes up, it comes close, it fails. Then what? Be fine, right? Put your stop loss at this high. You can short this. Put your stop loss right there or a little bit above the high, and then let's look for, who knows, something like this. This is how people trade, I'm telling you. Because that's how I used to trade. And I'd be doing this. I'm like, okay, we're good. The book tells me, okay, put it here. Put it here. There's a high here. It failed. So it's not strong enough. So I'm going to put my stop loss right above that high. And then it just go whoop. And like 1-2 candles just rips through this whole thing. And your face gets ripped off. And then you look at the book. And the book looks like perfect. Just looks perfect. Most of the time, those things do not pan out. Like, most of the time, they just get wrecked. Like, you even have Dow trade. Like, look at this. Let's look at Dow. Dow is usually like the problem child. And look at that. Dow's like, I can do it. I know I can. Right? Look how close it is. This is already above, but NQ's like, not today, partner. We got a little bit more chopping around to do. Just a little bit more. Cause like, look at all these wicks, man. I think there was another day. I don't know if it was when I was streaming, but last year I remember a day looking like this. I'm like, oh my goodness, just a lot of wicks, and that's when you see a lot of wicks like this. This is what the price action looks like on a smaller time frame. And so a lot of people cannot trade this time frame because they're trying to do every little thing. Like, every little thing is not what works. It's like little slow. Like, see, I told you, one candle, and then you're puckering up because you're like, please don't, like, don't hit my stop loss, and then whop. See, I told you. I'm too used to it, you know. That used to be my pain. That used to be very, very painful for me, and I'd watch that happen. I'm just gonna take a screenshot. That's just for me. In my journal. I also like the live streaming because it's a. Oops, I always do that. It's a personal journal for me. So even when if I don't, let's say, write things down, I can go back and watch them and actually listen to how I'm doing price and, you know, what's important. Remember I said if we can create it for value gap, but I don't think we're gonna get that actually. I think this is just gonna tear off now. Because we got ES tearing off, we got Dow, the problem child, having some fun. That was very shallow. Yeah, see, it ran right back down. So that was one level that we were looking for the whole day, based off of this. Now, if I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, there was no entry for me. Like, there's no entry here for me at all. Like, I see this. This is a breaker. This is a 5-minute propulsion block. This is an inverse fair value gap on a 5-minute chart. I see that. But, like, you know, I gotta squint and actually look in here to see if I can find anything I like. Yes, there's this propulsion block right here. Yes, it held. Yes, I can put my stop loss down here. And yes, it did all of this stuff. Cool. But, your boy ain't buying that. I ain't doing that. At least not right now. You know, maybe like, you know, 15 years from now when I've been doing this, the same thing over and over and over again, yeah, I'd probably buy that. But not right now. Not right now. And you see how it did your boy dirty, right? It came down here, immediate rebalance, so there's no fair value gap there, and so it can run. That's what it did to me. That's what it did. The problem child. Look at this. We might start trading down now. That's a joke, by the way. I think that's the worst asset you can trade. No, yeah, I wouldn't say that. I think it's the worst asset you could trade in your entire life. That's how I truly feel, actually. That is how I truly, truly feel. Look at the struggle bus to get up there. This is the weaker one. And if you decide to trade this one, like let's look at ES just for a second. ES is a little bit cleaner. See, there's a breaker set up here. It's a little bit cleaner. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. Breaker here on a 5-minute chart with a clear gap. That's where you would buy. So around that, right before 10 o'clock, let's actually look at that. Oh, I'm about to change the thing. Where's 10 o'clock? So right before 10 o'clock, it dips down, or at 10 o'clock, it dips down right here. So this is probably obviously the better buy, but look how it goes up and then comes right back down. And then there you go. It's like, come on, cuh. What we doing now? So I actually will like it a lot better where I can have some more screens to look at. So I can see when those things are kind of happening on the other one, because that, you know, that's normally when you want to be buying. But yeah, again, I'm thinking this is the target for today. For today. 21, I'm gonna actually put an alert. Cause I really want to see that get hit. Cause they did dirty. Did us dirty yesterday. I'm gonna say highs hit. Let's see. Coolio. There we go. So send an alert to my phone if that happens today. I'm gonna go 10:25, 10:30. That's when I'll kind of get off. Or unless it's just, you know, 2 minutes just hits up there, then we'll be off then. But yeah, so especially with the morning session looking like this, if this is not taken out, well, I'm not doing this, but let me just explain to you my thought process. This is what I'm looking for, and let's say I came today with high hopes and thinking that this would be a clean session. It's not. As long as this isn't hit before 1:30, I would look for a afternoon session trade. And if it can offer 50 handles, I would also take that as well. Let's see where it's at right now. But because I'm like actually done and have zero care, I'm not gonna do that. But that's how I would manage today with looking at this if I was not able to find an entry, which in all honesty, I don't think I would have bought this. It's nice, but I don't think I would have bought this. even with looking at how S or ES had a, you can make this, you know, gray because, you know, it's been hit. Run them pockets. Throwback. Yeah, a lot of like, look at the whole box of the macro. We just were in consolidation the entire time. So, actually, I don't like that. Let's do it like that. So, can we get up there, my friend? Dang, that's like far away. That's really far. I mean, it's only 100 handles, but NQ can do that. Man, I'm telling you, these health insurance agents, they gotta go. Like, it's crazy. Like, always calling my phone at all times and sending family members messages with my name. Like, how do you even get their number? It's just weird to me how you're, you know, just able to do that. I don't know. So, if I was being very aggressive today, and I was like, you know what, I'm getting in a trade, right? This would be the trade right here. I was being very, very aggressive. I'm like, you know what, I like this. This is all balanced. I don't think we're coming back down here. This is what the trade would look like. Goodness, man, what's happening right now? Based off current rules, right? I'm not going to change now, but this would be my trade setup right now. If I'm like, no, I'm like, nope, I'm getting in this trade. I like what I'm seeing. This is it for me. Like that would be what the trade is, because I see a lot of this is balanced. This is also in the lower portion of this. So I would expect this to, you know, to trade higher, as long as looking at ES and stuff. Yeah, that's what it would be. This is what it would look like. And why would I be okay with buying up here? Again, it has to come down first, right? But why am I okay with buying up here? Well, we have the potential to create a fair value gap above this high. I'm okay with that. I would like for this to remain open. This to me is a very, very balanced price range. I don't think that we're going to come back down there. It's below, my stop loss is below here. I don't think there's zero need to come back down here, especially if I personally believe we're trading up a little bit higher. Again, this would be 50 handles, so that's all it is. That's what I'd be looking for in a trade. This would be the only thing I'd be like, you know what? I can press a button. This would be the trade. This would be the I can press a button trade. That's what it would be. That's what it would look like. Let's see what we get here. Can we just get, you know, lovely, lovely expansion, or, you know, we're gonna get some funny business? Because we have about 2 minutes left. See, I like when trades, you know, they come down here, the bodies don't kind of close in here, and then they kind of shoot away. Aren't those just lovely ones? Not the ones where you're sitting in all this mess. I don't like that. So, that's where my stop loss would be, right below there, because I don't think that we need to come down to this low. So that's what I would be expecting. I'd be okay as long as we create this gap here. And I'd be okay if we came down like one more time. I wouldn't want to see it, though. Oops, I always do this, man. You always do this. It's like this. So that's pretty much, oh, you can't even see that. My goodness. Yeah, I like this trade. I like the way ES is responding, so I'm okay with this. I mean, as long as we can create a gap. If we do not create a gap at this point, I don't like this one as much. I'll just be completely honest. See, now this is even lower. But again, I'm watching the bodies. What are the bodies telling me? I mean, look at the problem child go. Let's just. I know I can do it. That's pretty much what Dow was saying right now. You doubted me, and I'm showing up. So immediate rebalance is okay. It's okay if you can hit that, but much more than that is a no-no, as you can see. No. What are we doing? But yeah, see, that's why again, I did not trade today. It's possible to trade down there, but why in the? Yeah, it's possible to do that. Don't get me wrong. I think at this point, yeah, it's probably gonna hit that fair value gap because it's on the 5-minute chart. Because this is not even fair value gap anymore. It didn't hold. Did not hold. That did not hold. That's a little small fair value gap there. That's on the 5-minute chart. So I would love to see it stay open. But my thought process may be that it might actually want to come trade down there. This is a breaker in itself on the 1-minute chart, which is so hard to see. So hard to see. But it's right here. See how it hits that? That's a breaker. You have high, low, high. But again, there's no fair value gap. It's just this wick. So this is would most likely get stopped out. Pretty close. I'd be very surprised if it doesn't get stopped out. Like, it should trade down into that gap. If it doesn't, that's really God watching, because like my thought process, it should 100% hit down there. Like, there's no way it would leave it open like that, but it can. But you never know. See, that would be a trade with a lot of drawdown. 32 handles of drawdown to get 49. What is this? 50.25 handles. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. But again, and see, this is something I keep forgetting, right? When it's a high resistance condition, you don't expect, you expect deep retracements. Like, that's the actual expectation. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but I have to, like, sometimes I forget that. You know, I forget that in trades when it's a high resistance condition that you expect deeper retracements. And, you know, if this pans out, that's kind of what happened here. But I would expect it to hit that fair value gap, so. See, now because I put this trade on, now I feel like I gotta stay on here. It's like 3 minutes until there's 3 minutes until 10:30. I said I was gonna stay until 10:30. Yeah, now I feel like I gotta stay on here a little bit longer. I'll stay on here a little bit longer. But yeah, the better trade, obviously, if it even can occur, this even pans out, is down here. Because you have the gap, which I believe is gonna get hit this. Let's just move this out the way for now. So it's just there, which is right below the gap, which I said I didn't want to see. So now I hit that. So this would be a stop out. Good. It happened before 10:30, so I can hop off. Yeah. So we're looking up here. I said the only thing I probably would have taken a trade off would have been up here, and it would have been a loss. So. Womp womp womp. But this is the high I think that we're gonna trade to. I'd want to see us do that. Again, this is a very, very deep trade. This is a very, very deep retracement back. But again, it's very possible. You have an order block with a volume imbalance down here. So we'll see. At this point, like, whatever happens, happens. If I get an alert that it came up here, then I'll be like, oh yeah, look, it came up there. But I'm not in it anyways, so no real attachment to this. So it's a great day. I will be on tomorrow around 9:10. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a blessed and amazing day. Hope you guys were able to learn something from this, or if not, just enjoy yourself and have some fun. And I will catch you guys on the next stream tomorrow at 9:10. I'll see you then. Peace out.